Hey folks, in this Aspire to Do for 3.4, we are talking about exploring Ojibwemowin, which is the native language spoken by many Ojibwe and other peoples. And we're going to talk about how it appears in the book and learn a little bit about the basics and how to pronounce it. So, as you've seen in Ouijiwaganug, the language is both English and Ojibwemowin. But Ojibwemowin is more complicated than just one thing, just like English is more complicated than just one thing. There are many different dialects of Ojibwemowin that are used by 143 nations within the Ojibwe, Ottawa, and Potawatomi people. So different versions are spoken throughout the country and countries that these people occupy. The specific dialect used in Ouijiwaganug is Western Ojibwemowin, which was chosen because this is the dialect that was historically used here in Minnesota where the story takes place. There are a number of resources that you can use and that Peter Razor partially used to become more knowledgeable about Ojibwemowin. There's a really cool website called the Ojibwe People's Dictionary, which is put together by native speakers of Ojibwe to start to create a living, evolving dictionary. There's also Ojibwe.net, which contains language resources and also lots of other great information, like information on territories and lands, history, all sorts of things. More locally, we at Robbinsdale have an American Indian Education Department. That is the resource that I used when I was first learning about this book. They helped me, who obviously was not a native speaker of Ojibwemowin, learn how to pronounce things and learn about some of the history of this language. And here in Minnesota, we are fortunate to have a very strong, vibrant Native community. There are lots of local community groups and community centers. So, if this is part of your culture or just something you want to learn more about, there are many resources out there that'll go deeper than what we're dipping our toes into today. But for today, we are talking just about the very basics so that you can feel a little more confident as you're reading some of the Ojibwemowin in the story. To talk about that, we want to go over some language basics. What are consonants and what are vowels? Consonants and vowels are two different types of letter or speech sound. Most letters are consonants. These are speech sounds in which the breath is at least partially obstructed. That sounds a little weird, but that means any speech sound you make with a closed mouth, like p or duh. But also anything where you're obstructing your breath, like k. You can feel the tightness in there. Almost all letters are consonants, and the good thing here is that consonants almost completely are pronounced the same in both English and Ojibwemowin, so you don't need to learn any new pronunciation for consonants. Vowels are basic speech sounds that are made without any obstruction, open mouth, open vocal tract. In English, we have 5 vowels, A, E, I, O, U. And English is actually a really tricky language. It's very hard to learn, partially because vowels are not always pronounced the same way. Think about how versus low, ow, o. It's the same letter, but it sounds totally different. Fortunately for us here, Ojibwemowin is actually way easier when it comes to pronunciation. Vowels always make the same sound. If you know how it is written, you know how to say it. So there's a vowel chart here below, and in your packet as well, there's a partially blank one that you'll be filling in. You can see, in addition to our basic A, E, I, O, no U here, we also have some double vowels. So when you see the double vowel, they have a different pronunciation. A single A is pronounced like bug. Double A is pronounced like father. Single E is pronounced A like hay. Single I is pronounced like little. Double I is pronounced E, like see. Single O is pronounced O, like go. And finally, double O is pronounced oo, like loon. So it takes a little bit of practice. The way that I try to remember it is that if you see a single vowel, it's usually pronounced like adding an H at the end of it. A, I, o, with the exception of the single E, which is pronounced A. It takes some practice again, but fill in this language chart and you'll have it as a reference. So if we're trying to learn how to pronounce an individual word, we can look at how it's spelled and plug in the sounds from our vowel chart here. So the title of the book, Ojibwemowin, we have that double I, so that is we, single I is j, double A is wa, and then two single A's is ganug. We have the name of one of our main characters, Nej Eshkanog. We have the double I in his first name, so that is Nej. The E is pronounced A, so Aish, and then the single A's are so Nej Eshkanog. I'm not expecting any of you to be experts on this. I'm not an expert. I'm still learning too. But I hope this helps you have a little more understanding of the language and a little more appreciation for it. As you keep reading, try experimenting, sounding out some of the Ojibwemowin in your head or out loud to understand the context that Peter Razor is using and how this language sounded and still sounds today. Thanks for taking the time to learn a bit more about language.